In the heart of the 80s, a movie dared to imagine the unimaginable. Picture this. The year is 1983. The world is on the brink of a digital revolution. Personal computers are starting to find their place in homes, and arcade games are the talk of the town. But amidst this technological boom, a film emerges that dares to explore the darker side of this brave new world. That film was WarGames. WarGames wasn't just another flick on the silver screen. It was a timely exploration of the burgeoning world of computer technology. It delved into the depths of hacking, a concept relatively unknown to the general public at the time. It dared to ask questions about artificial intelligence, at a time when the term was still largely confined to science fiction novels and the research labs of tech visionaries. The plot of WarGames was a gripping blend of teenage rebellion and global crisis. It followed the story of a young computer whiz who, in his quest for a yet-to-be-released video game, unwittingly hacks into a military supercomputer. The supercomputer, equipped with artificial intelligence, fails to distinguish between simulation and reality, triggering a potential global nuclear war. And while the film was a thriller, it was also a cautionary tale. It brought to the fore the potential dangers of unregulated technology, the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, and the very real threat of cyber warfare. It was a wake-up call, a glimpse into a future that was closer than many realized. What set WarGames apart was its prescience. It arrived at a time when the world was just beginning to understand the potential of computers. It dared to imagine a world where these machines could not only think, but could potentially outsmart their creators. It was a stark reminder of the double-edged sword that is technology. WarGames did not just entertain, it prophesied the future of technology and warfare. And as we venture further into the 21st century, the relevance of its message becomes ever more apparent. A simple game of chess turned into a global crisis. As the 80s rolled in, so did the era of personal computers, and with it, the movie WarGames. The film's plot begins innocently enough with a young hacker named David Lightman, an average high school student with an above-average interest in his new hobby, hacking. David's curiosity leads him to stumble upon a military supercomputer named WOPR, an acronym for War Operation Plan Response. Unaware of the stakes, David challenges the supercomputer to a game of global thermonuclear war, unknowingly triggering a countdown to World War III. What follows is a whirlwind of chaos and tension, a terrifyingly realistic portrayal of the world teetering on the brink of nuclear war. As David and his friend Jennifer frantically try to stop the game, the supercomputer designed to predict possible outcomes of nuclear war relentlessly plays on, ignorant of the real-world implications. The movie brilliantly mirrors the paranoia and fear of the Cold War era, a time when the threat of nuclear warfare was a grim reality. The supercomputer, WOPR, symbolizes the cold, calculating machinery of war, devoid of human emotion and blind to the cost of human life. David's desperate attempts to stop the game underscore a chilling truth. In a game of nuclear war, there are no winners, only survivors. As the military scrambles to respond to the perceived threat, the tension escalates. High-ranking officials debate launching a preemptive strike, unaware that the enemy missiles on their radar are merely simulations in a game. The world watches, holding its breath as the minutes tick down to what could be the end of civilization as we know it. The game became a grim reality, a terrifying reflection of the Cold War era. The chilling message of the movie, conveyed through a game of global destruction, remains relevant even today. That in the ominous game of nuclear war, the only winning move is not to play. A young man, a supercomputer, and the fate of the world. These are the pivotal elements that form the crux of WarGames, a film that has captivated audiences since the 80s. Let's delve into these fascinating characters, starting with our protagonist, David Lightman. David Lightman, portrayed by Matthew Broderick, is a high school student with a knack for hacking. He's the quintessential 80s teenager, complete with a rebellious streak and an insatiable curiosity for technology. But what sets David apart is his sharp wit and intelligence. In a world on the brink of nuclear disaster, it's this everyday teenager who steps up to the plate, defying his age and the odds stacked against him. Then we've got WOPR, the War Operation Plan Response. This isn't your average AI. WOPR is the supercomputer that mistakes a game for reality, instigating a potential nuclear war. While initially seen as the antagonist, WOPR evolves into a character in its own right. It's not inherently evil, just a machine programmed to win at all costs. As the movie progresses, we see WOPR learning, adapting, and ultimately understanding the consequences of its actions. The dynamic between David and WOPR is what truly drives the plot of WarGames. Their interaction is a dance between human and machine, each trying to outwit the other. David, with his quick thinking and problem-solving skills, manages to communicate with WOPR, highlighting the potential for cooperation between humans and AI. This relationship is a testament to the film's forward-thinking vision, presenting a nuanced perspective on technology that resonates even today. In the end, it's this unlikely duo that saves the world from the brink of destruction. David's humanity and WOPR's computational prowess come together to avert a global catastrophe, proving that understanding and cooperation can triumph over conflict. So there you have it. David and WOPR, a human and a machine, became the heart of this technological thriller. It's their unique characteristics and relationship that make WarGames a timeless classic, reminding us of the power of technology and the potential of human intelligence. The endgame wasn't about winning, but about learning. It is here in the climax of the movie where the stakes are highest that we see the true essence of WarGames. The supercomputer WOPR, also known as Joshua, is locked in a match of tic-tac-toe against itself. Tic-tac-toe, a child's game, one that is as simple as it gets. Yet this game becomes the key to the survival of the world. As Joshua plays round after round of tic-tac-toe, it soon becomes clear that there is no winning move. No matter the strategy, the result is always the same: a stalemate, a draw. This realization is the turning point, the moment of truth. Joshua, in all its artificial intelligence, learns a profound lesson. This moment is a mirror, reflecting the broader theme of nuclear war. The superpowers of the world, locked in a deadly game of their own, each believing they can win. But the reality, much like the game of tic-tac-toe, is starkly different. There is no winning move in nuclear war. There is only mutual destruction, a world left in ruins. WarGames, despite its technological undertones, is not about man versus machine. It's about the destructive nature of conflict, about the games we play where no one wins. It's a cautionary tale, a reminder of the futility of war. It's about learning that winning isn't everything. Sometimes it's about understanding the cost of playing the game. Joshua's realization is a message, a warning. It echoes the sentiments of the world's greatest thinkers, philosophers, and leaders. It's a plea for peace, for understanding, for a world where we can coexist without the looming threat of destruction. In the end, WarGames taught us the futility of nuclear warfare, a lesson still relevant today. A lesson that resonates, that echoes through the decades. A lesson that we, as a society, must never forget. The endgame wasn't about winning, but about learning. And that in itself is a victory. More than just a movie, WarGames became a cultural phenomenon. A ripple in the pond of pop culture, WarGames tapped into the collective consciousness of the 80s, becoming a benchmark for the portrayal of artificial intelligence in media. It was a vision of a future where machines could think, reason, and even play games. Yet it wasn't the fun and games that left audiences spellbound, but the chilling scenario of a computer misinterpreting a game for real-world warfare. This portrayal of AI wasn't just a fictional plot device. It was a mirror held up to society, reflecting our growing dependence on technology and the potential consequences. It prompted us to question, what if the machines we built to protect us turned against us? WarGames also sparked discussions around nuclear war, an undercurrent of unease that ran deep in the 80s. The film didn't shy away from showing the harsh realities of nuclear warfare, making it a powerful anti-war statement. It served as a stark reminder of the devastation that nuclear weapons could unleash, pushing the conversation about disarmament into the mainstream. The movie's impact extended beyond the realms of pop culture and social discourse. It also ignited conversations around computer security. The protagonist, a young hacker, was a wake-up call to the vulnerabilities in our digital defenses. This was a time when the internet was in its infancy, and the concept of cybersecurity was relatively unknown. WarGames brought these issues to the fore, highlighting the importance of robust digital security systems. And here we are, 4 decades later, still grappling with these themes. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant dream, but a reality. The threat of nuclear war, while not as imminent, still looms, and cybersecurity, it's a constant, evolving challenge. WarGames, a movie ahead of its time, continues to resonate, reminding us of the thin line between technology's wonders and dangers.